We've got our regiments. Governor General's done his thing. Manager of shipping. So again, it's a Crown office. Now let's see. The Crown will fit as many of their ships as possible and then player ships. So they're going to try and fit Lady Flora first off. So Lady Flora's coming out somewhere. That's going to cost £3. They've got £3 left. So Peacock's not going to buy company ships. They will spend any remaining money on extra ships. That's fine. So they'll spend £2 on an extra ship. So they've got Lady Flora and one extra. And they're going to place them in China. Alright, let's let her do it. If she puts them in the West, it's potentially an extra £3. But I want to grab this 6. So I don't want her taking that 6. I want to fill that order. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's let them put them in China. Right, military. She's going to do 2 army transfers, and she's Peacock, so she's looking to put in an army where a player is commander to an army where Crown is commander. So I'm commander of Bombay and Bengal, so she wants to move stuff out of here into Madras. Which is she going to choose? So AI card says she's going to. So Madras is where she's going. Bengal. She wants to take stuff out of Bengal. Yeah, so she's going to put these 2 regiments up here. But I might actually just prevent one of those. I want to leave something back in Bengal, I think, because I want to open orders. My commander. Okay, there's no officers to assign, but we do have military oversight. So immediately after Military Affairs Acts, the Prime Minister may demote one commander to an officer and appoint a new commander. So we could have used another promise cube and done this. So instead of moving that regiment, moved my officer. And then I could use military oversight, because I'm Prime Minister, to do that. I like that a lot. Now we're into presidential operations. Remember, our firm strategy is south, so we're not going to do anything in Bombay, keeping quiet about our private firm right now. Instead, President of Bombay is offering up. Crown as president will make governors act first, then commander, and then attempt trade. So us as commander, do we want to do anything in Bombay? We could try and clear that unrest. That might be a nice idea. We've got 2 regiments. We could either try and clear that unrest, or we could just leave them there to defend. I might just do that, actually. Let's just leave it. We're going to leave it. All right, we're doing nothing. Trade. Peacock wants to spend 6 dice. They've only got 3, so they're not going to trade. I'm just doing a quick check on, expenses are huge at the moment. There is a trade option, increase or decrease by 1. So I'd have to get them to trade in Bombay, I'd have to spend 3 promise cubes. I don't think we need them. I'm going to be relying on over here. We trade in Bengal. We don't trade here. Okay, fine. Madras, now it's me. And this is where we get to enact our private firm strategy. Before this presidency acts in any capacity, we reveal our strategy. It's in the south, okay, which is where we are right now, presidency of Madras. And we make a check. We got £3. We're rolling 3 dice. It's not great. And I wish I'd put more in there. But we're looking for 1 success. And we got it. Okay, we got 2 successes. That was a great roll. The money goes to the bank. We've got to sit on this for a bit now, because it's up to the president to decide what's going to happen next. And when we've got 2 ships minus 2 successes, we've got an initiative of 0. So I feel good that our private firm is going to go first. But I'm president as well, so if I wanted to, I could try and open this order and clear this unrest before I traded. That might be a good thing to do. I have to be aware of this elephant, so anything that I use to try and clear unrest. I mean, I could buy a local alliance and try and do it that way. That's a good idea too. So why don't I do that? I mean, I could spend £3, buy the Nizam, hire the Nizam. They've got strength 2. I could use them and a regiment to try and open that orders. That's 3. I might actually throw another one in. The Nizam and 2 regiments, that's 2, 4. That's 4 dice. Remember, you can't deploy in a region that would have no effect, but this would, because we're deploying in the home region. It's got open orders and unrest, so we're trying to clear those. Unrest only counts towards the strength of a region in a rebellion or an attack on the company. Right? So yeah, we got success. Great. 1, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 successes. There's no officers here, so we don't need to check for losses. And there's no loot, there's no tower, but our officer does get 1. There's always a minimum of 1 for a successful deploy. We don't get a trophy though, there's no tower here. However, we do get to open all closed orders and remove unrest. Alright, now we can trade. And how much do we want to spend? I'm going to spend £4. We'll leave 1. We'll leave 1 in the bank. Remember, that was our roll. Keeping this here safe. Right, we're rolling 4 dice. Now we could have the company head up this way. That'll be 12 as opposed to 9. If we come this way, it'll be 2, and then they go second, it'll be £2 plus £4. That's 6. If they go this way, it'll be 2 plus 3, it'll be only 5. So yeah, we're just going to roll 4. We're going to have it all in this one region. Yeah. And yes, they got their success. Okay. However, they got 3 successes. So let's move those out of the way. I got 2 successes off 2 ships. That's 2 minus 2, that's 0. My initiative is 0. They got 3 successes off 2 ships. Their initiative is -1. So we actually got a few too many successes than we intended. So -1 initiative, the company's going first. So they're actually going to get £5 for this one, £4 for this one. So that's £9 for the company. That puts them on 18. We'll fill 2 orders. That's £2 for me as president, £1 for the crown for being a writer. Now it's me with my initiative. I'm filling 2 plus 1 orders, 3 orders. I don't use writers. I don't have writers because I'm not president. I just use these field orders tokens. And we're going to fill orders just like a president does. So we have to start at the home port because remember, our firm strategy was south, so we're in the south. So we'll start with this one. We only get £2, okay, because this one's a previously filled ordered. We only get the 2. But now I can choose. I can go this way or this way. So I can go this way. There's no penalty for a private firm to go into different regions. So from here now we can go here. So we've got 2 plus 7, that's 9, plus 6, that's 15 total for our private firm. So we take the 15, and that goes in our India treasury. And then for each £6 added, so 6, 12, that's 2, our company value goes up 1. So our company value is going up from 1 to 3. So if we'd gotten the initiative, we would have gotten our value up to 4. But there we are. That's it. That's our trading done. That's our presidency of Madras complete. And now we move to the presidency of Bengal. Incidentally, we placed a crown writer filling an order, so we do get a promise cube back. Right, commander of the army of Bengal. We do want to open orders up there, and we do want to clear unrest. I think we're going to throw everything at it. I'll need consent to buy a local alliance from the president of Bengal. And because they're peacocking, if your commander consent to purchase a local alliance from the crown president, doesn't cost anything. They're going to give it automatically. So I might have them spend £2 and we'll buy Orissa, and then we'll deploy in Bengal's home region. We're going to try and open those orders and clear that unrest. Instead, we didn't need to place that there. It comes off. I was just doing that to show you how it worked. I'm going to put all 4. There's no tower up here, so we're rolling 4 dice. We just want 1 success. We got a success. Excellent. Okay, cool. We do need to do a death check for this officer. He's fine. A 6 would have been not fine. We each get 1 coin. That's 1 for me as commander, 1 for his officer. We clear the unrest. We open those orders, and successfully completing a deploy action in a company-controlled region, that is, associated with the Crown Presidency, which it is, that has at least 1 Crown writer, it does, would get us would get us a cube if he was bullish, stag or lion, but nothing when he's peacock. He wants us to deploy in non-company controlled regions when peacocking. So yeah, no promise cubes there. And obviously no trophies because there's no tower. President's not going to trade. If we'd left £2 in there, we could have pushed him to do so with some promise cubes, but we're not. Trade in China. Trade in China, they roll dice equal to the number of ships. There's 3 ships, so this couldn't get some money. Increase company balance by £4, so this might actually save them if they do it. So there's 3 ships in there. A peacocking superintendent will only do it if they can roll 3 dice, which they can. So we're looking for a success of 3 dice. Oops. Wow, they got it. Yeah, they got the success. Cool. And as a result, increase company balance by £4 per export icon in controlled regions. And then the Crown gains £1 per export icon in controlled regions. These used to be opium icons, but now they're called export icons. So there's 1 here, there's 2 here, there's none here. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's £12 for the company, which should put them up to 30. This is going to save the company, and then £3 for the Crown. Excellent. Bonuses. Crown's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're getting 1, 2, 3. We don't get this one because it's invested. Envoy to the Moguls any time on the turn before the events in India phase. I'm just going to hold for just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer on that. As soon as we're done with revenue, I'm going to play this card, and then we'll see how that affects things. All right, revenue phase. This is where our private firm gets to pay out dividends. So before we head into the main revenue phase, firms get to pay their expenses and then pay out dividends. So my expenses are, whichever is higher, 3 or 2. 3 is higher, okay? 2 shares or 3 value. 3 is higher, plus the number of ships, 5. Expenses of 5. Now I can pay this from the London Treasury or the India Treasury, a combination of both. So we'll pay out 4 from here, and then 1 from here, leaving 14 in the India Treasury. If we can't pay our expenses, the firm's dissolved. Now there is something called emergency investments. If I couldn't pay my expenses at this point, it is possible to get either yourself or other players to invest in your company to kind of rescue it. It's like an emergency loan with the main company. Now the Crown will never accept this. They want that if you can't pay your expenses, you can't rely on the Crown. It's all up to you. So I would have to be pulling shares from the court of directors, assuming they're not weak, or using invested workshops. Now I could still use my favours to buy some workshops. So if I didn't have any workshops, remember these favours here are valid from the start of the firm phase until the end of the revenue phase. We're at the beginning of the revenue phase, so I can still do this. So I could take an uninvested workshop for 6 promises. So I probably have to give them some money, a whole bunch of promise cubes, and then they'll give me a workshop which I can then invest to save my private firm. But every time you do an emergency investment here, the value of your firm gets lowered by 1. And then at the end of it, even if this would have left extra, even if it was just £1, if you were short on your expenses by £1, you'll get £5 from your emergency investment. Any money left over goes back to the bank. All right, so basically your budget gets set to 0. So that's emergency investments. Look out for them. You can also, in a multiplayer game, do an emergency merger, but we won't cover that here. But now that we've done expenses, we can choose to pay dividends. Each dividend is going to cost you number of shares plus 1. Okay, so I got £14. I could potentially pay 4 dividends out, but that would only leave me £2, which is not a lot to then be using for my trade bid next time, right? And also remember, it's money here which you're going to be using to buy more ships with. At the moment, trading for 3 is quite good. If I paid out 3 dividends, that would be £9, right? That would leave me 5 here. So why don't we pay out 3 dividends? It's going to cost me £9. It'll cost my private firm £9. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's £9 to me. Okay. Perfect. If anybody else had a share here, obviously they'd be taking a share of that dividend. But I've extracted £9 out of my private firm. Can you see how lucrative it is in terms of getting money in your coffers? Once you finish paying dividends, any money left in the India Treasury gets sent to the London Treasury, and now that's available for next time for trade bid, buying ships and so on. Final step, we paid out £9 in dividends. We take our cube and we place it below the £9 spot here. This is important. During the London season, any player who had at least 1 share in a private firm can take a special retirement from their family supply. It's just like a regular retirement, and you can spend up to this amount here, however much is paid out in dividends. So a special retirement up to £9, so we could take the £8 retirement here. Even if we don't retire any office holders, we've got an opportunity to spend up to £9, so it'll be 8 in this case, on a special retirement. That's one of the biggest bonuses for having a share in a private firm, is that special retirement. It is gold dust. Okay. Now obviously if the Crown's in here, she can do it as well. So you want to keep the Crown out of here as long as possible. Now remember, she's gone peacocking now, which means she's going to be looking to invest in my firm next turn. And that's it. We've completed the revenue phase for private firms. We move to the regular revenue phase for the company, which is, as you remember, repair expenses, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus regiments, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, plus officers, 20, 21, plus debt, 21. That takes us down to just £9 left in the company. The bad news for the company is that £9 is less than £10 expectations. Company standing has fallen. Now dividends. Crown chair will always pay out 1 dividend, and then there's a peacock. They want to leave 8 in, so they're going to pay out 1, but I'm going to prevent that. We'll pay out. That would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, £6. I'm going to prevent that. We're going to leave that money there. And now we're heading into events in India. So just before we do, I'm going to fire off Envoy to the Mughals. Play any time. Move the elephant to any legal position and take pounds equal to the highest open order in that region with the elephant's tail. So there's a £7 order right here. So I want to stick the elephant's tail here. And do I want bad things to happen to the company or good things to happen to the company? I think I want good things to happen to the company. So I'm going to point it here at Maratha. And we'll take £7. That's a great card. That's a great card. It doesn't give me any power, it doesn't give me any victory points, but it's a nice little card. Awesome. That's out of the game. Right, you ready for the events in India? This is where the fun really begins. Let's see where our storms are. Oh dear, no storms. We've got 4 events. Now that's some bad luck. That is some bad luck. First, oh, it's a crisis as well with a +2. All right, that's a good job. We moved that elephant. So there's a crisis. We've got a sovereign region against a sovereign region. So this is a strength 1 +2 for the crisis modifier versus a strength 2 in defense because it's a 2 tower. The attacker wins. The defender creates a new empire. Hyderabad as its capital, with Maratha in its empire as a dominated region. And that was a good result because that could have gone dreadfully bad. Imperial ambitions. So the elephant. Oh, incidentally, I just printed these ones out on my 3D printer. It's little resin elephants just to help me illustrate the battles. They look cute, right? This says he's sticking his tail in the square. Squares on this border. So he's got his eye on Bombay now. That could have been bad if we'd left that elephant where it was. Next is a leader. The top of the stack is Delhi. Is Delhi sovereign? Delhi is sovereign, so it just adds 1 strength. Next. Oh, another crisis. So this is not so good. This is an attack on the company. This is a company-controlled region. So Bombay, you've got 1 tower here. This is now part of his empire, so 2 more strength here, plus 1 unrest. That's a strength 4 attack. We've got 2 regiments, so we can take out 2 of those elephants, which means the invasion is a success. We now have region loss. First, we tarnish the commander's name. If we had any trophies, we return half of them to supply. We don't have any trophies as it goes. Any officers here would now rout. You have to roll a die for each. A 6 will return them to the supply. The commander himself is booted out and gets returned to the supply. So yes, I've lost my commander. Bombay now falls, so it's no longer part of the presidency. This goes back in here, but we don't turn the loot face up, right? We keep the loot face down. And unrest is cleared. We place a dome back with a 1 strength tower. It was an invasion from an empire, so it gets a little flag. It's now part of the Hyderabad Empire. And we close all those orders. 1, 2, 3. Oof, that's dreadful. Worst of all, company humiliation. We lower company standing by 1. And 1 final comment. If there were any more regions with unrest, they would now suffer a rebellion. Fortunately, we cleared that unrest. So we cleared it out of Bengal, we cleared it out of Madras. Otherwise, they would now each get a rebellion. And this is why unrest is so bad. When it happens, just rebellions start springing up everywhere. Okay, now we move the elephant. Imperial ambitions wants it to move to triangle. Triangle would be here, but that's already part of the empire, so we go clockwise. So now it's going to look at Madras once more. Let's hope. It's our final event, right? Final event. and it is leader. Okay, and it's a leader in Punjab. Punjab is sovereign, so it just gets a tower strength. So the company has survived, just. But shares are weak now. We're in a stripy zone because company standing has fallen. Things have certainly taken a different shape here. Parliament meets. We're Prime Minister, so we do get some control now. So here's the law deck. Give it a bit of a shuffle up. I can't remember if I've shuffled it or not, so we'll give it a shuffle up. And remember, we draw up to 3. We have to decide after every draw whether we want to stop or continue. It is window tax repeal. So this time we're moving from workshops to luxuries. Players no longer pay window taxes. I'm not really interested in that. Let's go again. Writer privileges. Players gain an additional £1 for each of the writers placed on an order. I don't think I'm going to get that law passed. Try the third one. Oh, well, there we go. It's a dilemma. Relief demanded for Indian famine. If passed, enact this policy consequence a second time. It's tax. If failed, a turmoil event occurs in each home region. Add 1 unrest to every company-controlled region. Right, that's what we're doing. And I really want this thing to pass, don't I? Enact this policy, so I'm going to tax either shipyards or windows. If I go there, tax luxuries and windows, I think that might be the better one to go for. She's now going to shift, which I don't think is going to make a jot of difference to how she votes, but it might just change her mood up a little bit. So we roll 6 dice. She's got 2 successes. 2 successes equal to. So they would shift to the right if able, but she's already peacock. So climate's not shifting. The Crown has the most of a given policy, and she votes against it. Otherwise, she's voting for it. It's luxuries and windows. She doesn't have any luxuries, but she does have 2 windows. So she's voting against. And she's going to vote all in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. She gets a little bonus based on her current amounts of money. She gets 4 votes. That's 16. 16 against. It starts at +1. So 16 against is going to take it all the way down to -15. So to get this thing to pass, I need to put 15 back in. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to pay £10. I need to get £10 to get this law to pass. What are the benefits? 2 power. We keep some orders open because bad stuff's going to happen if we let this thing fail. Turmoil event is going to close the northernmost order in each order. Well, maybe that's not so bad. So let's just let it fail. We lose PM ship. That's the downside. So a turmoil event, this fails. A turmoil event occurs in each home region, and add 1 unrest to every company-controlled region. And this might be quite bad, actually. Turmoil closes the northernmost order, and then it happens in each home region. So if we do Madras, northernmost order is that one. So that's going to close, and that's going to go back to the supply. Crown's lost its writer. In Bengal, it's not so bad. Northernmost order closed. But in Bombay, there is no northernmost open region. That means a cascade occurs. So we close all orders connected. Connected means down these lines. So we're going to close this one, because that's connected. Then we would close this one is connected, this one's connected, and this one's connected. and that will trigger a cascade itself. So this one will cascade forward to Delhi and close that. You can't cascade into a region that's already been considered. This one would then cascade into Maratha, and then this one would close that one. So that's a pretty bad turmoil event. It's closed up a heck of a lot of orders. India has shut down on us. The good news is we didn't lose any more regions. But then it says add one unrest to every company-controlled region. Well, there's only 2 company-controlled regions now, Madras and Bengal. We have now resolved this dilemma. This is discarded along with these additional laws. Now, Crown's got to resolve either a bonus to workshops or a tax on shipyards. She's got the most shipyards. She's got the most workshops. She's going to give a bonus to workshops. That's 4 for her, 1 for me. Okay. Upkeep and refresh. So this extra ship goes back to supply. It was just the one in China. There's no writers to come back. Filled orders disappear. Unexhaust our armies. We're on turn 6 now, and we'll begin in the London season. Attrition. And I don't know, I kind of wish I let that law, paid the £10 and let the law pass now. I've got lots of money. It might have been better to just tax them more heavily. They wouldn't have got that workshop bonus. Yeah, I think that's what I should have done. I kept the PM ship. I would have got a trophy for passing a law. Yeah. Well, too late now. Okay, attrition. I've only got one office holder, the President of Madras. So let's see how that turns out. No, he's fine. Okay, so no retirements for me apart from my special retirement. Let's do his. So chairman has a 3, so that, remember, chairman's always +1, so that adds a fatigue. Shipping manager gets a fatigue. Military affairs gets a fatigue. Governor General gets a fatigue. My gosh. President of Bombay is retired. President of Bengal is retired. And then finally, trade in China is fine. Okay, so we've got 2 retirements. Crown doesn't have an investment in my firm, so I'm the only person with a special retirement. He's got 10. So you can spend half on each of these 2 retirements. She's got 21, so she's going to spend 10 and a half, 11. So it's going to be an 8. 8 for the first retirement. Leaving her with 13. Half of 13 rounded up is 7. So she's going to spend 4 on the next. Okay. That's given us 6 points. Putting on 10 points. Wow. As for me, I've got my special retirement. I can spend up to 9, so I can spend 8 on a retirement, which I'm going to do. And this comes from the supply. So that gives me 4 points. So they've extended the gap a little, and she'll get first dibs on London season display because they spent more than I did on retirements. AI card says they're going to take the middle one, which is that blackmail card, which I don't get to peek at. and then I get choice because I retired. Rotten Boroughs is 3 votes, which is nice. It's also a social enterprise, so it's worth 2 power. But the Foundry is also good. Each time any player purchases a workshop or regiment is added to an army, you take £1 from the bank, which is worth more. I don't know, the Foundry's good, but I might take Rotten Boroughs. I like this. I like 3 votes. Let's see how that works out. You're probably all screaming at me, take the Foundry, Ricky, take the Foundry. It is good. A Foundry is really good here. To be fair, it's a nice little source of income. All right. Let's refresh. We got another Rotten Boroughs, a spouse, another secret blackmail card. Family phase. Crown's currently peacock. She's going to be looking for workshops and luxuries. She's going to be wanting to invest in my firm. Crown kind of helped out quite a bit putting those ships in China, not wanting to trade too much. But that flipped peacock means she is going to try and neutralize any advantage I've got in my private firm, and that's going to be interesting to watch play out. We don't have many promises, though. I should have taken 2 back from the Crown for these writers that didn't get assigned to orders. So, yeah, not too bad. I was hoping for a chairman position. That's why I'm keeping this little share back here. Use my promises, exert some leverage. My firm's doing okay. Of course, things can change. The company's doing really well, though India is looking a little bit dodgy. We'll see how that impacts her mood. So join me next time as we continue John Company's second edition, 1813.